I just have a couple quick things I want to go through. First of all, we are going to have a special meeting on February 29th, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. Excuse me, March 29th. March 29th.
One more time.
2 weeks from tomorrow. It's a Thursday. I do not have the location scheduled yet. I think I have the time. We're going to do a company-wide 5-office meeting somewhere between here and probably Ontario. We'll probably do it in Riverside or whatever. And we're going to do from 9 to noon. We're going to do our first annual Coldwell Banker Pioneer / Town and Country / Realty Center, kind of a market update kind of a thing. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going through what I think is going on market-wise. But since our last meeting, I've been in New Orleans. There's a lot of stuff going on at CAR. There's a lot of stuff going on with NAR. And I come in and I do these things and we rush through it in about 45 minutes. So we're going to take a 3-hour block. It's not going to be all 3 hours of data. But I'll let you know the location probably within the next couple of days. We haven't booked a spot yet, so, and in fact, I haven't even asked Anna about it, so Anna will find a spot for us to meet. So I'm going to defer some of the stuff today for that meeting as far as data, but I do want to share a couple of other things with you real quick. I was at the New Orleans meetings in Coldwell Banker last week. By the way, this is CB Works, if you're not familiar with it. Everybody's familiar with this, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you go to CB Works and you log in and you go to advertising and you go, it's very simple. Matter of fact, let me go back to the beginnings. So if you log in, this is what you should see. Yours may look a little bit different than mine. You're not going to have anything up here that says recruit and retain because that's for brokers and managers and stuff. But you should have these buttons. And if you click on the marketing and advertising button, anybody seen the new commercials? That's where I'm going here, the new television commercials? Okay. I want to show you the new television commercials in case you haven't seen them. Down under advertising and promotion, so I think that's 3 clicks so far. And the 2012 Coldwell Banker TV campaign, so that took me 4 clicks after I logged in to get to the screen. Where they, by the way, we don't have these on our website yet, but these videos will be on our website. I'll put Brian to the test by close of business today. And these are just real basic YouTube videos. You guys should all have these videos on your website. You should be blogging them and Facebooking them and sending them to your customers. But let me show you, there's I think 5 of them. This is the longest one, so let me show you this one first. Let's see if we can get the audio going here too.
Is that the one from last night?
Yeah. From last night?
The one about how do you measure?
Yeah, it's all about the value of the home or something.
Right, that's it.
Hold on a second, let me start over again.
That was the one that I text messaged you about.
Was that what you sent me?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I had no idea what you were telling me.
There you go. That was it. That did it. That was the whole thing.
Well, that's the one you like?
Yeah. That's
Yeah, she likes animals.
My variety connection is failing me.
Start by taking the smell of pancakes made on a Sunday morning and times that by the sound of kids laughing from the bottom of their bellies. Then you add the taste of a good Cabernet with the family at Thanksgiving. Multiply that by the warmth.
Nothing worse.
You suck.
Nothing worse than that.
You get with it, take a hard
Tell me about it.
You subtract the stress of work and minus the struggles of the outside world.
That looks
And
familiar.
the power of bedtime story times that by the square root of grandmother kissing her grandchild. Multiply all this by about 50,000 memories and 100,000 smiles. And then you have the value of a home.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay,
Big improvement.
that is the 1-minute spot, which to be honest with you, I'll be really surprised that you see a lot of the 1-minute spots, But actually, I think this is the one that you probably saw, Diane, that you actually like. This is the pet spot, kind of the same theme though.
No, I think that was the one I saw.
Did you see the real long one?
No, it wasn't that one. That's about home. And that
That's
one.
one, Diane.
Yeah. No, that wasn't it.
Okay, could you guys hear that at all? Yeah, barely. Okay, well there's one more. By the way, that's Tom Selleck's voice, which I thought was kind of cool. But then I think there might be a generational issue with Tom Selleck. because Drew
Yeah.
was telling me that somebody, I don't know, it was Stephen Meyer, who was like, well, you know, who's this Tom Selleck guy?
Same people don't know who the Coldwell Banker guys are.
Yeah.
Really? Is that, you were fall into that category?
No, I'm just saying it's the same people that would recognize the Coldwell Banker guys.
Who are the
okay.
Coldwell Banker guys?
Well, actually, we got rid of that. Okay, well, there's actually 2 more spots. I'll just show you one more. This is their 15-second kid spot. Maybe.
Are you Netflix? Is that your problem?
Verizon broadband.
Here's to kids.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
And all the things that make a house a home.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it was the long one.
it was a long one. Okay, well, good. I'm glad they're showing the long one.
It was
'Cause
on the
obviously those
Lifetime
last
channel.
couple I showed you, and they've actually got like 6 different versions. They got the long 1 minute long, and then they've got like 3. I think there's 7 versions actually. They've got 3 30-second spots and then 3 50-second spots. So, at any rate, use those videos. Put them in your presentations. You know, when you're doing your presentation, take your laptop with your presentation on it, with your website on it. Direct your consumer to that portion of the web. Have your Ryan, I love you, man. Look at Ryan's badge. That's just disgusting. Oh my God. And I recognize that last part. That last part is you doing your little YouTube video. So, but anyway, take your and this, again, I don't mean to embarrass anybody because I know there's going to be very few hands that go up. Who in this room has their own internal Verizon broadband, AT&T broadband, internet connection on their own laptop that they can take out onto and do business with? 5. Okay. I don't want to make this a commentary on the rest of you, but I'm telling you, if you don't have the ability to work remotely and access this data out in the field in front of your consumer, I believe you will be out of business very quickly. Okay? It's probably been okay for the last year or 2 or 3, although I couldn't function. And I know, yeah, oh God, Lance, it's $40 a month, and then again, if you have 2, if you've got your Verizon broadband, you're paying 40 or $50 a month, and then what are these costing now? 29 bucks? 29 bucks for your 3G. Geez, you want me to spend $80 a month for my yes. And I know that's painful for a lot of people. I know the market's been challenging, but our consumers are doing it. I see it already. The consumers are out there, not just driving around calling signs anymore. They're out there driving around with their iPads and their tablets and all the rest of this sort of stuff, and they're gathering this information, and they're going to do what Ryan said. You know, who's got the information, who's going to respond the fastest, and who's got the best site. You know, Zillow, it makes me sick. How much did Zillow just went public for? What, $1 billion?
Yeah.
You know whose data Zillow just sold for $1 billion? Ours. You know, we've been having this conversation for years.
Yep.
Who owns Realtor.com? Us, kind of, sort of. But years ago, we talked about the value of what this data was going to mean to the consumer. And now you've got basically third-party consumers that have really, for the most part, no interest in real estate, at least organized real estate through NAR and CR. They're capturing our data, going public for $1 billion. And you think any of that money is coming back to us?
Nope.
That's one reason. I don't know if you guys saw, there was a blog post. I guess he's a big broker. I've never heard of him before. He's a big broker down in the San Diego area. It's an acronym like AGI or something like that. And he basically said, I'm pulling out of all of our stuff. Pulling our listings out of Zillow, and Trulia, and all of those. And I think partially why he's doing that is he's like, this is ridiculous. It's our data. It's being remarketed to us. I mean, you get an email every day that says, hey, you want to get the premium Zillow membership? Sure, give us $500 or whatever,
Right.
$500 a month. Even Realtor.com.
Yep.
I was really big in Realtor.com 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
I was spending about $3,000 to $4,000 a year
Yep.
on Realtor.com. Realtor.com, my own listings.
Yep.
In order to do the same thing the following year, which was now like 3 years ago, they said, okay, great, well, it's time for renewal. $22,000. Like what? So guess how much I spent on Realtor, which is probably where Realtor.com is starting to fall. Because guess who came out of Realtor.com about 3 or 4 years ago? Me.
Yep.
I'm still there with the basic stuff, but I'm not spending $22,000 a year to market our stuff, and which is probably why Trulia and Zillow have come in and filled that niche. And frankly, Realtor.com will probably be out of business in a few more years. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So, at any rate, I didn't want to talk about any of that. Kevin got me sidetracked. Okay, just a couple things, and then I'm going to turn the microphone back over to Shelley. I'm just going to do one slide on this. We'll have a lot more market data when we do our meeting in a couple weeks from now. Hopefully you all can attend. I'll give you plenty of notice as to where it's going to be. This is the only slide I'm going to show you as far as market. The red bar is inventory. It is down for February, but looks a little more stable. Having said that, there's no REO inventory, at least new REO inventory. I don't know where it is, but it's not here. Okay. There's all sorts of emails, which I'll share with you in a couple weeks, that talk about inventory that's coming. I do believe it's coming, but we'll see. But I was worried I was going to run this, and I was worried that this red bar was going to be like down here a little bit. It is less than it was a month ago. We still have an inventory problem, but it doesn't seem to be quite as dramatic as it was before. Okay, we're taking listings in the office, by the way. Okay, we're definitely seeing new listing inventory. A lot of short sale stuff, some traditional standard stuff. Not a lot of new REO hitting the market, at least today. We'll see what happens, a month or 2 or 6 from now. But the blue bar, pendings. I think those are the most pending transactions in the last 2 years. It is. Who said it is? Who? Diane, is that you?
Yes.
10,100 pending properties. Now that number is going to adjust a little bit, guys. If you're the one who really pays attention to this data, you say, wait a minute, Lance, last month you said there was like 9,000 properties that were pending, and now I see the number adjusted down to 8,000. This is a fluid number. People go in and they're changing statuses and they're updating dates. Having said that, 10,000, this is, by the way, this is all of Sierra MLS. Okay, this is Maria Valley. Okay, so this is the entire MLS. But again, we've got more pendings than we've had in 2 years. Are you guys feeling that? I hope you're feeling it. As an office, we're feeling it. The numbers are reflecting that. I think a month ago or 2 months ago, I kind of stood up here and I was like, geez, I don't know, everyone's telling me things are good, but I can't really see it yet. About a month ago, I started to see it in the numbers, and I can continue to say that today. I'm going to stop short of saying that the trend is, pie in the sky and clear water from here. But if you haven't been out taking advantage of these, then it's time to re-engage, okay? Because the market is, people are buying houses. And the sales weren't bad either. Where are we at with the sales? Closed transactions, February 6,300, okay? Better than January. Are you guys feeling that? Okay, if you're not, if these numbers are glossed over, geez, I'm not feeling it, then we need to talk. We need to sit down and talk, what can we do to help you go out and capture some of this business? Because it is out there. It's there. The buyers are certainly there. That's for darn sure. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit more about this in depth in a couple of weeks. 2 other things, and then I'm going to turn the microphone back to Shelley. We talked a lot about the bulk sale rental program. Has anybody seen the I don't know what report it was on. It's been on every blog, but approximately, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Fannie did their very first release of the bulk sale properties. Anybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay. There was somewhere around 2,900 properties that were put into this bulk. I believe, what was the number that were LA Riverside County, like 750, give or take? Okay. About a third of them, approximately, were what they define as the LA Riverside market. I don't know exactly what that means. I think keep in mind, this is a pilot program that's being done nationally, so when they say the LA Riverside market, I think that includes San Bernardino and possibly Orange County and whatever. But if you look at the report, it says LA Riverside, of the 2,900 properties, about 750, 800 of them were from our area. Is that a good thing? No. Am I worried about this? Yes. But I want to share a piece of news, and all this is just observations. I'm reporting back from the field. When we were in New Orleans 2 weeks ago now, we attended a meeting with Jim Gillespie. That name doesn't sound familiar. He's the president and CEO of Coldwell Banker. Richard Smith, who is the president and CEO of Realogy, who is the company that owns Coldwell Banker and C21 and at least owns the franchise names. And Drew and I sat through a presentation of about 45 minutes, and probably 25 minutes of it dealt with bulk sale and a rental program to go along with it. I don't want to get too overdramatic here, but I probably have never felt more proud to be associated with Coldwell Banker as I did during that time. At the same time, I probably was never more disappointed at California Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors as I was during that time. Because the folks at Coldwell Banker and at Realogy appear to have a really good grip on this bulk sale and rental program, as opposed to our leadership, which I'm part of, at CAR and NAR, appear to have no idea what the hell's going on, which has been part of my campaign for the last few months. But let me share it with you what Richard Smith and Jim Gillespie shared with us. In their opinion, they've met with all these people. You know, they've met with the politicians, they've met with the regulators, and what they're relaying to me is the program will probably not be anywhere as big or as impactful as maybe I thought it was originally. Okay? I was thinking tens, if not hundreds of thousands of properties throughout the country. What they're saying is they're going to run this pilot, 2,700 homes now, another 2,600 or 2,700 homes maybe a few months from now. They're going to run it through the year. They're going to be able to turn to the political folks and say, we've checked off the box, we've done the program, we've tried it out, and that'll probably be it. He's talking probably in the neighborhood of, and I don't know where he could come up with this number, he's saying maybe 10, 12,000 properties total throughout the entire country. So even if that's 2,500 of those are in Southern California or in our area, I don't like that, because do we need 2,500 more homes to sell today? We do. But there's 50,000 homes within a 40-mile radius of this office, 50,000 that are in default. So if they take 5 or 6% of them away and they do their thing with them, so be it. So hopefully we'll start to see some of the inventory. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I got to find out what NAR and CER is doing, but there's been a lot of letters, a lot of stuff going on about that. I'm not quite as fearful, and if you guys sense some downright concern and fear out of me on this topic a month or two ago, then your spidey senses were right on, because this thing it's got me scared. Okay, I'm concerned, but I'm not as scared as I was 30 days ago. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. There was one other thing I had. I cannot remember what the heck it is, so I must be done. So Shelly's got a couple other things, and then anybody got any questions on the market or the? Yes, Paul.
I saw an open house, I think it was Saturday night, prime time, and like $78 million homes, Coldwell Banker around the country. I didn't know we were running, was that just
What did you say again? You saw what?
on television, Channel 4, I think it was, Saturday night, prime time, prime channel, half-hour program, I think it was called Open House.
Oh, right. Yeah, we're sponsoring that. What Paul's talking about is there. Is that the name of it? Open House? Like it's on like the Better Homes and Gardens network or something like that, or was it on Channel 4?
Channel 4, yeah.
Okay. Well, and Coldwell Banker had a big presence, or were they the sponsor? Or?
I thought they were the sponsor. It was
Right.
like at 8 o'clock at night,
Right.
Saturday.
We are sponsoring that. We're also sponsoring I'm not a real big baseball fan, but ESPN, what do they call their baseball thing? What is it?
Something like Baseball Tonight.
Baseball Tonight. Coldwell Banker sponsors that. But this was more of almost like a commercial for Coldwell Banker houses and stuff. For those of you that are somewhat new to the Coldwell Banker brand, and this may sound a little superficial, but one of the reasons I was attracted to Coldwell Banker, which is kind of odd coming from Moreno Valley, to be honest with you, but one of the reasons I was attracted to Coldwell Banker as a person interested in buying a franchise was for my entire real estate career, Coldwell Banker has been known as the company that you go to market high-end properties. And I don't have the stats in front of me. I used to have this committed to memory, but it was ridiculous. You know, for every 10 homes that were sold over, $1 million, Coldwell Banker was involved in like 50% of those transactions. And don't quote me on that, but the numbers were ridiculously high. Okay. Which again, you'd say, well, geez, which is why, to be honest with you, let's lay it on the table. There's never been a Coldwell Banker office in the city of Moreno Valley until us. okay? And partially why is because if you really look at a lot of the where are they? Coastal cities, big metropolitan areas, okay? Larger sales prices, larger, the bigger dollar properties. To be honest with you, they didn't want to come to Reno Valley. And why are we going to come to Reno Valley and sell $150,000 houses when we'll go to the beach and sell $1.5 million houses? Okay, some of you in this room may have asked yourself that at times. But at any rate, Coldwell Banker has always had that. It may have been lost a little bit over the last few years because the market's been soft. Those sales aren't happening as much as they are anymore. But I mean, that's been kind of our little niche. It's been some of that prestige that hopefully we can take advantage of.
I think it was great advertisement. It had rentals, $100,000 a month rental in New York City.
Right. To get that $100,000 a month rental in New York City. Okay, anybody got anything else? Okay, don't go away.
Hello again. I just wanted to take about 10 minutes. Hopefully you'll stick around. I want to take about 10 minutes and just talk to you about a couple things that have been on my heart. Lance just showed those statistics, 10,100 properties that went pending in the month of February. February is traditionally a really lousy month for real estate, We don't really have a whole lot of sales. It's a short month. It usually rains a lot. It didn't this year, but it usually rains a lot in February, and traditionally it's just not a great time for real estate sales. I think that 10,100 homes that went pending in February is pretty indicative of where the market's heading right now. The way I see it, and I think I've said this to you before, the way I see it, it's 1999 all over again. And in 1990, I've been in the real estate business now for 2 major downturns and 2 boom markets. So I started in 1989 selling real estate. Some of you were still in diapers.
Or weren't.
Or weren't. Anyway, in 1989, when I started in the business, the realtors, Al was one of them, we were here in this office with Great Western Real Estate. People were saying, realtors were saying, the public was saying, wow, this market is so great. We're just making money hand over fist on our homes. It can't get any better than this. And they were right. It didn't. About 1990, it started to fall apart. By 1991, we definitely were in a downturn. We were in a downturn from 1991 till about 1998 was when we started seeing signs of life. Things started coming back. And it was a very long downturn with just a long-term downturn. And then it started coming back. And this last downturn that we've had in the market was nothing compared to that one, but prices were higher this time. And so prices fell a lot further. Back then, geez, the top of the market was 200,000, maybe 250. This time, when we fell down, the top of the market in Moreno Valley was 600,000, right? So that's a little bit of the difference. I've been through 2 boom markets. So I was in a boom market in the very beginning of my career, at the tail end of it, and then the boom market that started around 2000, or 1999, but really started to be evident around 2000, and then went to 2007. So let me just tell you, if you've been struggling through this market that we've been in the last couple of years, your time is coming, because Lance may not be quite ready to stick his neck out and tell you that he thinks that everything's going to be sunshine and roses. But you know me, I have kind of a sunshine and roses personality. And I'm here to tell you, I think the market is poised for a huge comeback. And I think we're ready for a big boom. And if you're not feeling it right now, it's just because you haven't been as engaged in the business as you should be. Because there are buyers and sellers everywhere. And once we get a little bit of equity, you're going to see all those people who have been wanting to sell their house for the last couple of years and move to their dream home, or downsize and move to Arizona or Palm Desert to retire. You're going to see all those people who have been holding off coming into the market in a big way. So there is a lot of timing right now. Once those move-up buyers come out, boy, it's going to be wonderful. So it brings me to my second point, and my second point is, are you ready for that? I mean, If I asked each of you, what are your plans for the rest of the day, about 10 of you would say, well, I've got definite plans. I've got an appointment to show property. I've got to prepare for a listing appointment tomorrow. I've got to go out and knock on doors for 2 hours. I've got to get ready for my open house this weekend. About 10 of you would tell me that. And the rest of you would go, well, I don't know. I thought I'd hang around for the office for a while and then maybe go home and, I don't know, surf the web a little bit and maybe tweak this and that. And you wouldn't really have a definite plan. You've got to have a definite plan. And I feel like I get up here every month and I say the same things, but the same things are true every month. And I just don't see that many of us doing that. So you have to have a definite plan. You've got to have a prospecting plan. And you've got to hone your skills. You've got to sharpen your skills. Stephen Amaya has an iPad. He has a listing presentation on his iPad. He didn't make it up. He downloaded it from Coldwell Banker, but he put in a lot of personal stuff as well. He can talk about his experience. Oh, to be Steve Amaya or Chris Sleeper or Chase Block or Saletti Medina right now. I wish I had that youth and that technological ability that kind of was inborn with them, because in this next market, these guys are going to take over. And by the way, Chase had his first sale last month. Congratulations, Chase. Lance was talking about iPads. When we had the company picnic last fall, Chase's 1-year-old daughter was sitting there playing a game on his iPad. So what's she going to do in 20 years, right? Anyway, so are you ready for this oncoming market that I know is coming? And then what do you really want out of your life? And what do you really want out of your career? I will be the first person to stand up here and tell you it's not all about money. And it never is all about money. And if you think it is, you are so wrong. Jim's parents are both elderly. Jim's dad is probably not going to live a whole lot longer. When your husband retires from a career that he's been in for 35 years, it really makes you kind of stand back and go, when am I going to retire? What do I want for the rest of my life? Where do I want to be? And if you're not at that point yet, I hope you're not at that point, because you've got more time then to really step back and say, okay, what do I want to do? But that's what I've really been doing. We went to Hawaii last fall, and we had some real serious talks about what are we going to do with our future, and how long is it going to be till we get our house paid off? What do we really want out of the rest of our lives? We want financial freedom. We want to get our house paid off. We don't want to have any debt whatsoever. I want to travel. He doesn't want to travel quite as bad as I want to travel, but I'm going to drag him with me. We just really want to, we want to make hay while the sun shines. My grandfather used to say that all the time. I want to make hay while the sun shines. Right now, there are so many things that are poised, that are in line. I just feel like the stars are in alignment if you've got a real estate career right now and you're ready to run with it. So I say all of that because all of these factors have brought me to a very personal decision, and that is that I'm going to resign as your manager. I have really enjoyed working with you for the last 2.5 years, and I've been with Lance, gosh, since 2007, when I came over from Prudential. I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere, okay? I firmly believe that this is the very best real estate office in the entire Inland Empire. I believe that Coldwell Banker is the very best company to be working for. But I want to retire in 6 years, and I got to do a lot of work between now and then if we want to retire in style. So that's one of the reasons that Jim's got his real estate license, and he's going to help me, because believe me, I need a lot of help. And by the way, when I just made that announcement, I really appreciate the fact that you didn't applaud. But I told Lance that I wanted to resign about 2-3 weeks ago now, and so that's where we're at. And I will, and I told him I'd like to resign, but I'd also like to go on vacation. So we're going on vacation next week, and then I'll be back the following week. But my last day as your manager will be on March 31st. But you'll be seeing me every day, and you'll be seeing Jim too, because we're here. I do plan to give you all a run for your money. I'm telling you that right now. When we go on vacation next week, one of the top things that I'm doing is getting me an iPad so I can get my listing presentation on my iPad. I'm going to be sitting down and thinking a lot about what kind of website presence do I want to have? Where are my videos at? All those things that I've been preaching to you, I haven't necessarily been doing them because that has not been my primary thing, right? My primary thing has been managing a real estate office, not selling real estate. But I'm going off in a different direction now. But I hope I can help you. And I hope that you'll consider me a friend. And I hope that you'll allow me to... I hope that you'll allow me to continue to work here, and I hope that we'll all stay together. You know, when Lance was talking about Coldwell Banker being the very best brand, I really do believe that, and it's interesting. Does it just seem like every single day you're getting something from another company? Evergreen Realty, every day. It's like, leave me alone already. Keller Williams, oh, come to our training. Oh, we've got this and we've got that. And you're getting XYZ Realty and ABC Realty, and you just get this stuff all the time. But the thing is, they don't have anything that we don't have. We are so set apart from our competition because of Coldwell Banker, but also because of some of the things that Lance has put into place. There's no other company that gives their agents leads. You might not think they're great leads. I think they're great leads, and I think it's really, really interesting that Chase Block has come into the business with no experience in this business. He's put 2 transactions into escrow simply from Lead Router in the last month and a half or 2 months. One of them unfortunately fell out, but he's still working with the buyer. So the leads are quality, and no other company does that. Plus, we've got a good team here. We've got a good group of people. We all work well together, and we've got a lot going for us. So let's continue to build our team, and let's continue to be cohesive and work together well. And that's all. That's all I got. So.
Thank you, Shelley. Just a little bit before we call it a day. Most of you, I know many of you have known Shelley as long as I have, and I'm not really sure how long that's been, but I also, when this building was Great Western, I worked as an agent in this building at Great Western Real Estate. I guess it would have been the last 3 months of 1988, because my dad was working here, okay? And then he pissed off Ron Wright. And then he opened up Pioneer Real Estate, right? It didn't piss him off. My dad wanted to put a horse on his business card.
Oh, for God's
Great
sake.
Western logo, which had to be blue as well. My dad said, no, I'm not going to do it blue. I want it to be all black, and I want to put a horse on it. And Ron Ray said, no, you can't do that. And he said, okay, well, fine. And 3 weeks later, we opened Pioneer Real Estate. So we might have even crossed paths back in 1988 and back in this building. I don't remember. But at any rate, I've known Shelley for a long time. I've always considered her a friend. She has truly been the single best sales manager that I've ever encountered in my 25 years in doing this. And I've said this before in this meeting, and I'll say it again. Shelley has managed 3 of the #1 offices in market share during her tenure. She managed Tarbell. Certainly, most recently, well, not most recently, but prior to coming with us, managed Prudential. And even though we've been beating heads with Remax and Novak across the street for market share, we've been kind of swapping that #1 market share on and off for the last year or so anyway. And that's certainly a testimony to Shelley. She's certainly a pro. She's a great person. When we talked about this, my first reaction was panic. Which was then, subdued a little bit when she said, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to hang around here. Jim and I are going to partner up, and Jim's going to, find some room in the office over there. But that made me feel a little bit better. But I got to tell you, what Shelley said about this market turning, guys, we put a stat on the board 2 months ago about the median price as it compared to the median rental value, and those lines intersected. Okay? And at that point in time I said, that's big, big data. And guess who I think is getting that now? I think the consumers are getting that now. 10,000 people out there buying houses last month are getting that now. I don't know whether it's going to be a boom or not, and maybe sometime I'm a little bit more reserved on some of my comments. But I got to tell you, I put my money where my mouth is. I've got offices in Redlands, in Claremont, in Covina, in Moreno Valley, in Santa Ana. And if the market doesn't turn around, Well, that's a problem for me, okay? So I am very, very excited and very optimistic for what could be just a fantastic year. And again, with Shelley's departure, this is probably a little known secret, but should a good salesperson always make more than their sales manager? The answer is yes. If you haven't been doing this, for those of you that are new to sales, okay, let me educate you. For those heads that are going up and down, or people who have been doing this for a while, if you are a good salesperson, you should always be making more money than your sales manager, which may seem counterintuitive. What do you mean? You know, sales manager, they got the experience, and they're doing this, and da-da-da-da-da. It's just a different game, okay? Shelley recognizes that. And I think part of this decision not only is the freedom, frankly, having to stop dealing with the day-to-day management of agents, which is, which can just be challenging to say the least, but the opportunity to make money in this marketplace is the chessboard is set, guys. Anyway, I know it's not all about money. That was one of the very first things that Shelley said, and I certainly get that, but I can pretty much guarantee you when Shelley looks at her 1099 at the end of the year, she's going to make more money as an agent than she ever would manage in this office. And I'm certain when we're sitting on our boat next year or whatever we do for our Christmas party, Shelley's going to be up there. So those of you that are gunning for that top spot for 2012 sales agent, there's a new sheriff in town, or at least a new competition in town in the Linda Google team. So, at any rate, I just want to say thank you to Shelley for our friendship and for 2.5 years. I actually begged her and dragged her back into this. You were a couple of years working in the office as an agent before you finally came on and said I was going to do this. And for the 2 years when Shelley came into the office as an agent, in the beginning it was probably every other week, but then it probably went to every other month. And gosh, have you ever reconsidered? Would you consider coming in and managing? Would you consider coming in and managing? And it was no, 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 no. Don't want to do that again. Someone's been 2.5 years ago. She said, okay, we'll do it again. I'm glad we got 2.5 years out of her. So anyway, the last thing I want to say is I do not currently have I do not have somebody behind the screen I'm going to be bringing out to announce as a sales manager, and that's by design. One thing which in part of me says maybe there's a challenge with that. You know, Shelley and I debated on whether or not we do this now or whether we wait till we have the mystery person to come out from behind the door. And who has seen a quality sales manager leave a company only to be replaced by another sales manager, and then 3 months later see that person replaced by another sales manager, and then 3 months later see that person replaced by another sales manager? I'm not going to do that, okay? The last thing in the world I want to do is just grab somebody because I have a hole to fill, not have the right person, and then 3 months later fire that person and find another one, find another one, find another one. So, for better or worse, I'm looking. There may be 1 or 2 of you in this room that say, wow, that might be interesting. I'd like to talk to Lance. Perfectly fine. My door is open. Come on in and talk to me. But in the meantime, and I know I'm busy, but I'm here. And you can, by the way, I do work after 5 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays. So I am going to at least be your stand-in manager. And for those of you that are cringing, oh, he's not here, I can't get available, I would say you haven't tried.
That's right.
If you need to get a hold of me, and you're not getting a hold of me, I would just suggest you haven't tried. You call me, you text me, you kick in my office door, whatever happens to be. So for the foreseeable future, I'm your new Shelley. I'm certainly going to have some help. A lot of the job as it relates to what Shelley does, Shelley's going to hate this when I say this, because for 1.5 years she's been, I need some administration help. I've got the files and the this and the that, and unfortunately it takes a tremendous amount of time with staffing, and unfortunately I burden Shelley with a lot of that stuff. But as far as getting commissions processed and checks processed and files processed, don't worry about any of that. We'll have the staff and stuff to handle that. But transactionally, you need something, you need to call me. Lance isn't in the office today. I'm not in the office. Call me. Text me. I'm going to call you back. Okay? 10 o'clock on Tuesday, Sunday night, Monday morning, whatever it happens to be. And we're certainly going to get you the support you need. one thing that, and to be honest with you, I'm actually I'm a little excited to do this. To be honest with you, this REO stuff ain't all what it's cracked up to be. I'm tired of the REO. I've been focusing on REO for so much. I mean, this is fun, okay? Transactional real estate with real buyers and real sellers is fun. Working with asset managers at Fannie and Freddie and Atlas and all these REO companies for the last 6 years is, it's wearing on me, to be honest with you. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to sitting down with you, to talking to you guys, to actually, I reintroduced myself to an agent that I met 3 months ago the other day. A little embarrassing. Oh, hey, Alexa, hey, how you doing? I don't think we met. Well, yeah, we did. We met 3 months ago. Ah, yeah, that's no good. So at any rate, bottom line is I'm going to be available to you, and to that end, and I'm going to put this in your court first, and then if I don't hear from you, then I will approach you a week or 2 from now. But anybody who would like to meet, kind of do a one-on-one, talk about their business plan, what can we do to help, what's going right, what's going wrong, just grab me after the meeting, send me an email, send me a text. We'll sit down next week. We'll take 10 minutes or we'll take an hour and 10 minutes and chat, and we'll talk business plans and that sort of stuff. So, and we'll see where it goes. So, anybody got any thoughts or questions, or everyone want to tell Shelley that you love her?
Oh.
Love you, Kelly.